You ever find yourself so bored during a ruck march or some useless mandatory training that you're forced to take in a classroom that your mind wanders off and you begin imagining, fantasizing, if you will, what you would have done had you been trapped on a plane on 9/11 headed towards the World Trade Center. You're not just gonna sit there, you're gonna start talking to some of the other passengers, concocting some awesome scheme in order to break down the front doors, disarm some of the terrorists, take back the cockpit and land that son of a bitch safely. America! Woo! Well, 3 Marines don't have to fantasize about that no more. Lucky bastards. Marine Captain Colt, Sergeant Dietrich, and PFC Meinhardt were flying minding their own business from Tokyo to Dallas. And some nutjob decided they were gonna go crazy in the cockpit and start threatening people and threatening to harm themselves. Yeah, heart's going. Little pitter-patter in that heart right now, huh? Well, this nutjob decides he's gonna lock himself in the latrine on the plane and start screaming and going absolutely nuts inside, freaking everybody out. But these 3 Marines were ready. They got a hold of the crew and stacked up on the door like they're ready to breach a fucking porta-john in Iraq. Boom! Unlike that thing kicked it open and then the fight was on. I hope they took turns just smacking him and shaking the shit out of him until his brain rattled back in place.
Calm down, now get back to your seat. I'll take care of this. Calm down. Calm down. Get a hold of yourself.
Doctor, you want it on the phone.
After subduing this wacko with zip ties provided to them by the crew members, they sat him down, hog-tied him to a chair, and guarded him the rest of the flight until they made an emergency landing in LA. Then that guy got dumped off the plane and sent to a hospital for a mental eval. And also to have some bumps and bruises checked out. I'm just assuming. And so I am honored to present you 3 Marines with a POB. Good job. Good job. Good job. Now that we've distributed that distinguished honor of the POB, I have to ask you, do you know any sailors, soldiers, airmen, or Marine, even coasties, that have done something exceptional and deserve the coveted POB? If you do, better hit me up in those comments. Send me a link on Facebook's, Instagrizzles, or the YouTubes. If your chain of command ain't gonna recognize your greatness, Drill Sergeant will. Along with the ceremonial pat on the back, I think I need to find these guys' address and hook him up with some gear. Because this could be a regular thing. Now I gotta figure out some sort of design for a shirt that I can give these weirdos that's got like POB on it. Like a natty D. I think it's something. Oh god, just don't sweat for 30 seconds and show them the new shirt that you made. Ah! My drill sergeant sets his Tingling! That can only mean one thing. Oh, God, Corona! Some news articles stating that the United States Special Operation Forces are not elite! Yeah! What the fuck is this? No! No! Do it again! Do it again! Yeah! Much gooder. Business Insider, because when you think military expose, you think Business Insider. That's what I think. Anyway, they posted an article stating Special Operations Forces are special. They're not elite. Well, I tend to disagree with you, Business Insider. America's Special Operations Forces are soft, as they're known, are in high demand and their global presence is growing. 2019, SOF operated 141 countries, up from only 60 over a decade ago. Rightfully, SOF have earned a reputation for the tremendous excellence and success, like killing Osama bin Laden in 2011. I'm pretty sure killing Osama bin Laden in some stealthy-ass helicopters that they had to blow up so nobody would see them, with some dudes with some night vision goggles and dogs with metal teeth, were pretty elite. I think those special dudes were training pretty hard for that. I think we put the creme de la creme of our guys on that, so you just disproved yourself in the first paragraph. But okay, let's read on. Another paragraph in the article goes on to state that after 9/11, Special Operations Forces got pushed into the limelight by the media for doing all the cool shenanigans and being the first ones into Afghanistan. And that's where the elite issue started. In addition, it says that Special Operations Forces and the word elite have become ubiquitous, which is a large word for meaning they occupy the same space. They're alongside one another, completely intertwined, joined at the hip, as you might say. Read a book or get a thesaurus. Well, let's look at the definition of elite. See what Google's got to say about it. Elite, a select group that is superior in terms of abilities or qualities to the rest of a group or society. Well, by golly gosh, it's almost as if these dudes in Special Operations Forces get a little bit more training, get to get a little bit more funding, and do some more cool badass shit. Then they get the cooler missions because they're superior to other forces. Oh my god, it's as though elite is a synonym for Special Operations Forces. The next paragraph reads, elite is never used as a term of reference for SOF inside the military. The word elite does not appear in use of SOCOM mission statement. Elite is not even included in the official Department of Defense dictionary. What, am I having an argument with Webster's dictionary here? How about you give me some cold hard facts as to why they're not elite? Well, duh! Nobody says it like that. Nobody wants some arrogant little shithead walking around post going, I'm better than you because I'm elite. The DOD is like your mom and dad. They're not gonna pick their favorite and let everybody know who their favorite is, because otherwise all the siblings are gonna start fighting over one another. You're gonna have a bunch of jealousy and butthurtedness. Or how about this? Actions might speak louder than words, guy. Maybe the fact that they've gone through hell to get in the 75th Ranger Regiment or 10th Special Forces Group or Navy SEALs or PJs, maybe their funny colored berets, doodads on their chest show that you've gone through some shit. Oh, what's going on there, Special Forces guy that apparently isn't elite? Interesting that you should have so many doodads on your shirt. What you got there? Air assault? Jump school? Pathfinder? Is that scuba bubble? Everybody's got a scuba bubble. That's just a day-to-day activity to get the fucking Army scuba bubble. That's very simple. It's ridiculously simple. Oh, Halo. Oh, yeah, anybody can jump out of a plane. Anybody can jump out of it. He's just falling. Cool style, right? Like Toy Story.
Hey, Buzz! You're flying!
This isn't flying, this is falling with style.
It's not in DOD doctrine or handbooks, because where does it end? Huh? Oh, okay, Special Operations Forces. Well, you've got Civil Affairs and PSYOPs. Well, they're special, all right. But they're okay. Well, they're not elite. We got the Rangers. Well, they're elite. They're definitely elite. Going in there, dropping in, doing kill squares and wiping everybody out. Well, Special Forces. Well, they're a little bit more elite, so they're super elite, right? Well, what about Delta? Well, CAG. Well, they're super duper elite. Well, we've got all these different levels of elite, so maybe we should just shut the fuck up and let them do their jobs. The DOD said the Rangers and Special Forces were elite, but I'm a pararescueman and I need to be elite too. Have the DOD write that I'm elite in a handbook to make it official. I need them to write it in a book to make it official that I'm elite, so that some guy in fucking Business Insider can write an article saying that I'm elite, because I am. That's what I feel it. I am it. He says this in a previous paragraph. Someone combined that one and this one together. But the term elite implies better, and this raises the question, better for what? Followed up later on in the article with, while special and elite may be conflated in casual conversation, they do not mean the same thing. Elite implies better. Duh. While special implies different. To say that SOF, Special Operations Forces, is better raises the question, for what purpose? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let me give you a couple examples there. Counterinsurgency, insurgency, Special Forces bread and butter. How about Halo jumping behind enemy lines? How about pararescuemen rescuing hostages? Ever hear of Jessica fucking Lynch? Passive and active intel gathering, psychological warfare, counter-drug operations, securing landing zones for aircraft. How about HVT, high value targets? You fucking said it earlier 1st Infantry just lambaste into fucking Pakistan and start a whole new fucking ground war? No, you need your super cool high speed, 4 different types of nods and one in the background. Dog, evil angry metal teeth going into that joint and going pop, 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 bye-bye, in some fucking helicopters that don't even exist. They don't even exist. And here comes my favorite paragraph in the article. Navy SEALs are special sailors, because SEALs are trained to lock out submarines, jump off of planes, leave large ships, operate mini submarines, swim to meet the enemy, and SEALs often fight the enemy on land. Well, it sure looks like you gave me a whole bunch of fucking examples as to why they are elite that you were asking in the previous fucking paragraph. But SEALs are not truly elite sailors, because SEALs are not better at doing the things that traditional sailors do, like operating warships, submarines, and aircraft. Well, if they're not elite, then why don't you have some fucking coxswain or some munitions specialist pop 4 or 5 Somalis off that little ship that Captain What's-His-Face was on? You know, the one where there's 2 ships going up and down in the water, about 100 meters apart, you know, all simultaneously firing at the same time to get 4 targets down, because everybody can do the job that SEALs are doing. They're not elite or anything. They, along with other members of the Special Operations Forces community, are elite because when they are called upon to do a strange job that might have something to do with their job or be a little bit out in the gray area, they perform it flawlessly. They train, they execute. Ta-da! Every SEAL can mop, but not every sailor can fucking seal. Being a cook, electrical engineering, any maintenance are important jobs that keep the military moving and assist those individuals at the tip of the spear to get the job done. But no one is sitting in a dark room and a round table with a bunch of classified files on it across from dudes with stars on their collars saying, "Gentlemen, I don't think we need the 10th Special Forces Group. I think what we need here is Specialist Rodriguez, the commo specialist from the 82nd Airborne's Charlie Company, to come down here in Chad and teach the pro-American forces how to properly do small squad tactics and passively collect intel to assist us." Right? Rodriguez, let's get Rod on this right now. Give me Rod. He says the same thing about the mission with Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, the ISIS leader that got murked in 2019 by that awesome dog in the memes. God, I love that dog. It says the mission would have been impossible had it not been for those in the support elements doing cyber analysis, drones flying above them and checking shit out. And I agree, we know that. Those in the Special Operations Forces community respect and love those dudes for doing their job. But not everybody is cut out to do the running around with the dog dotting dudes in the forehead in the middle of the night action. He continues with, "A broad claim that SOF is elite or better than the rest of the military makes no more sense than describing a screwdriver as a better version of a hammer. You're a tool." That screwdriver and hammer analogy would make sense if SOF was a one-trick pony, but they're not. Yes, you have the different elements of SOF from the different branches that bring a whole bunch of different experiences and specialties to the SOF community, but they can adapt and change the extreme requirements that are needed for each individual mission that they become a part of. Can a screwdriver become a hammer? No. But can one Special Operations Forces marksman who's a tack driver of a sniper switch and change over to a different mission and become an assistant or advisor to a host nation about proper intel gathering or infrastructure development? Yes! Not only is the elite description of SOF incorrect, it's potentially dangerous. Overinvestment in SOF at the expense of conventional military forces would cause degradation in priority mission areas, including those normally assigned to SOF. Use of SOCOM is guided by the SOF truths, the 5th of which states most special operations require non-special operations forces assistance. Now that I agree with, and let me give you an example. Post-2007, the Army decided to neglect 2 of the Special Operations Forces truths, which were that Special Operations Forces cannot be mass-produced, and that quality is better than quantity. In response to the United States Army's need for more civil affairs specialists, they decided that the team leaders who were captains with prior command experience no longer needed that, but could be second lieutenants if they were promotable, and first lieutenants. Due to the lack of command and overall military experience that these lieutenants had coming into the civil affairs team, the civil affairs MOS, already the red-headed stepchildren of the special operations community, deteriorated. Furthermore, the term elite is dangerous because of the self-perceptions of eliteness can lead to unhealthy hubris among soft personnel. Those who feel elite may believe that they are entitled to act outside the law or that they are exempt from military standards of discipline. Let's talk about hubris. If you're a Special Forces cat or a Navy SEAL and you're walking around with your chest puffed up belittling every other seaman, airman, soldier around you just because you're hot shit, guess what? Nobody's gonna like you. Your battle buddies in your unit think you're a dick, and you're probably gonna get weeded out like you should have been when you're in your selection process or buds. Those who are truly elite embrace the others that work around them as one of their own and bring others up to the standards that they hold. That's why everybody loves to wear their Special Forces combat patch, because when you see that, you know that that dude knew his shit and did his job well enough that the elite soldiers of a Special Forces group were like, hey, can you help take care of us while we do the shit that we gotta do? In the end, elite forces are elite because of the training that they get and the mindset that they have. This article was written by Lieutenant Colonel Stuart Parker. What do you say we learn a little bit more about this guy? Colonel Parker was commissioned through the U.S. Air Force Academy in May 2002. He's qualified as a jump master, combat diver, and joint terminal attack control instructor. And he was previously designated as a subject matter expert on fire support for Air Force Special Operations Command. He has conducted multiple combat deployments performing reconnaissance, strike, and personnel recovery missions. You are elite! It's okay! Why do we have to have this self-deprecating feelings? But I feel like I understand what the Colonel's trying to get at in this article. I know I've seen it, and I'm sure the Colonel noticed it as well. Young upstarts coming up in the military, just barely finishing their selection process into a special operations group. And then they're walking around thinking that they're the shit. All the while this Colonel has had dudes die, has been in more battles than they've had birthdays, and has been able to pin silver stars, meritorious medals on dudes and NCOs that have stood next to him in the shit. All in all, the issue falls on one individual's shoulders, and that's leadership. You need to hold your individual soldiers, airmen, or seamen to the level and standard that they're supposed to be at, maintain, and exceed. DOD said, I'm elite. I'm a ranger.
Hey guys, Hop here for TFB TV. I'm out at the range with the brand new Winchester Wildcat. This is a semi-automatic 22. It is lighter than a Marlin 795. It is cheaper than a 1022, and it takes 1022 magazines. Let's take a look at it. The Winchester Wildcat was actually announced a while ago, but after about a year of radio silence from Winchester, I'd assumed it was just never coming out. So when they showed up available for purchase at the old sporting goods store, I ran down and bought one right away. On paper, the Wildcat is a slightly improved Ruger 1022, but for a bit less money. MSRP on the Wildcat is cheaper than the cheapest 1022 configuration, but it weighs less and has a few features you would have to spend extra for to get on the 1022. It's kind of the horseshoe opposite version of the Thompson Center 22, which is basically a fancy 1022 platform that you're sort of expected to put a lot of money into with upgrades. The Wildcat is nicer than a bone stock 1022 in a number of ways, but you probably won't be able to upgrade it after the fact. I'll also compare the Wildcat to the Marlin 795, which was the first 22 rifle I ever bought, and it's still my recommendation for a budget plinking rifle. The Wildcat is made in Turkey and imported, like a lot of current Winchester Olin products. Import restrictions probably explain the lack of a threaded barrel option on the Wildcat, and if their current shotguns are anything to go by, the Wildcat will never get as much aftermarket support as the 1022. Even the Marlin 795 has been around for decades and barely has any manufacturer support, so don't hold your breath for fancy Wildcat upgrades from third-party companies. First impressions of the Wildcat is that it is extremely lightweight and made almost entirely of plastic. The receiver is plastic, the stock is plastic, controls are plastic, sights are plastic, the rail is plastic. Some of the parts feel a little flimsy, the manual safety is kind of crunchy, and I suspect if you drop the gun on the rear sight, it would just be gone forever. The upshot of all that plastic is that the Wildcat can cram in a bunch of nice features despite being lighter than the 1022 or Marlin 795. The Winchester Wildcat weighs in at 3 pounds 15 ounces compared to 4 pounds 4 ounces for a Marlin 795 or the synthetic stock base model 1022 carbine. All three of these guns have the same 18-inch barrel length and 10-round factory magazines. Strangely enough, the Ruger 1022 Compact, available with a 16-inch barrel, also comes in at 4 pounds 4 ounces. Not really sure how they did that. So what about those features? The Wildcat has a last shot hold open feature with the factory 10-round Winchester mags. They are a very close copy of the Ruger 10-round rotary mag, but with an extra metal tab that protrudes when the mag is empty, which activates the last shot hold open. You can also use 1022 mags in the Wildcat. I tested it with the 10, 15, and 25 round OEM Ruger mags, in addition to the included Winchester 10-rounder. Just for my own edification, I tested the Winchester 10-round mag in a Ruger 1022 Charger, and it worked fine there, although there's very little reason to use it. The Wildcat has a manual bolt hold open button on the front of the trigger guard and a bolt drop button on the left side of the receiver. These are both plastic and feel a bit flimsy, but they do the job. The mag release on the Wildcat is at the front of the magazine, unlike the paddle mag release on a 1022, which is behind the mag. The Wildcat also has these textured rails on the sides of the gun that you can pull with your firing hand to drop the mag right into your palm. Both mag release options work great with 10-round magazines, but are a bit awkward with extendos. So dropping the, it's not bad. Dropping the extended magazines is a little more difficult than it is on a actual 1022. On a 1022, you've got a paddle right behind the mags. You just thumb it out, rock it out like an AK. With this, you've got the paddle in front of the mag, so you can, that's actually probably the best way to do it. There you go. I definitely prefer the 1022's paddle release. The Wildcat is still significantly easier to use than the awful mag release on the Marlin 795. Probably the only feature on that rifle I don't care for. Under the plastic rail cover on the forearm, the Wildcat has a molded-in sling swivel and a short section of Picatinny rail for mounting a bipod. This is a nice feature, better than mounting a bipod to a sling stud. The stock has the other sling swivel molded in at the rear. The shape of the stock made me think there would be some way to store spare magazines in there, but nope, it's just skeletonized for weight reduction. If you really wanted to store a mag in there, you could probably do it with some sticky Velcro or 3M command strips. The Wildcat's real party piece is the button in the rear of the receiver to quickly remove the bolt and fire control group from the barrel and stock. This gives you easy access to the back of the barrel for pushing a cleaning rod through from the rear, and it makes it easy to pull and clean the bolt. A pair of hex keys to adjust the sights are stored inside the removable section. That's handy. The Wildcat's sighting arrangement is a rear peep sight with a front blade. It's a much clearer sight picture than the stock sights on a Marlin 795 or a side by side with the Wildcat and my old Marlin 795, and I found that I got very similar groups with both of them, but I could do it a lot faster with the Wildcat. My eyes are straight up garbage though, so I benefit from the rear sight quite a bit. The Wildcat also has a Picatinny rail on the receiver for mounting optics, which is a nice feature compared to the Marlin 795's ancient dovetail mount. Since the Wildcat is so light and handy already, I'd say don't bother with a bulky and heavy scope, and instead throw a micro red dot on there. The Wildcat with a red dot on it is an absurdly fun plinker. As of this writing, I have well over 500 rounds for the Wildcat, an assortment of different loads using the factory mag, as well as 3 different sizes of 1022 mags. I had a few jams when using the Ruger BX25s and the CCI standard polymer-coated bullets, where the round nosed up into the top of the chamber too hard and got squished. I had no failures with the Winchester mag, and the Wildcat chewed through a ton of Remington Golden Bullet, Winchester White Box Bulk, and CCI standards without issue or complaint. The Wildcat is very close to dethroning the 795 as my budget 22 rifle of choice, except it's not quite as cheap. The Marlin 795 is dirt cheap. I think I bought mine for about $140. The Wildcat has an MSRP of $220, so it will probably hover around $200 even. Still a bit cheaper than a stock 1022. On features, weight, and
Making my way. Downtown, walking fast, proceeding down at the brisk rate, proceeding ahead to speed as I attempt to relocate myself in a downwardly direction.
Well, good evening, lotties, lasses, and lassos. I hope you're doing dandy fine delicious. Here when I live in this recording world, it is now Friday evening, and that is a perfect time. To get some glass of wine and chillax with the bros, yeah yeet. But because we're all supposed to stay at home and wash our hands, I don't have any bros here, so it's just me and a glass of wine and Reddit. I'm kidding, it was like that before the quarantine as well. Welcome to r/increasingly verbose. Enjoy. No, yesn't, yopent, function of yes inverse.
I have
Ascended! Sorry. bruh moment. Brother occasion.
A male sibling, a period of time.
Humans with two X chromosomes being born after 1993, not being able to prepare food, only knowing McDonald's, recharging their personal electronic devices with electricity, thrusting their hip in a sexual manner, being sexually attracted to the sex of their own and other humans with an X and Y chromosome, consuming a spice-inducing fried thin potato and not being honest.
Society in mid-2019.
This meme is so last year. Yes, and get your shit together. Thou shalt reintegrate a fecal matter that thou belongeth. And put thine shit in thine massive pilot.
I have arrived here today to make a public and typically formal statement.
White cranberry strawberry flavored juice drink with another juice from concentrate. What? Just name the two fruits. You don't have to.
Oh, these memes are juicy.
Battleship. Warboat designated to destroy. A very large sea-going military vessel designed to eradicate enemy vehicles using large cannons with missiles loaded inside. A battleship is a large armored warship with a main battery consisting of larger caliber guns and high-tech missiles. It also has a person authority to command the... I can't read this because it's still in taking the cruiser in the best manner possible and load the deadly projectiles and launch them at enemy cruisers to defeat the opposing challenger. I also don't know how to make high-resolution images, apparently. You good, sir? Resolution. Yeah. Suck it. Verbosant.
World is mine. The planet which we called home is my property. This sphere rotating the sun at speed of 30 kilometers per second is legally under my possession.
Hippity hoppity, the Earth is now my property. Yes, YouTube is just my first step to claiming this planet. After I got you all to subscribe to my memes, that is the... Can you imagine that? Like the next time someone tries to conquer the world, it's through really like subliminal messages through memes? It wouldn't surprise me at this point.
Society.
Say psych right now. Indicate that you are joking right this very instant. And please verify that your statement is false and was meant to invoke humor, preferably during the next few seconds. My good fellow, that statement you have just vocated left me in a state of distress. If you will be so kind, please refer to the statement as nothing more than an attempt of humor and not in any way, shape, or form true statement of any kind. I would prefer that you do so, such as directly as present or sometime in the near future.
I am a plant.
Gamers who die to an enemy. Gamers who die in the tutorial. Gamers who die to a friendly NPC. Experts of a game who die in said game because they were raiding a fortress and took out all the enemies with extreme stealth and the boss was quarter health but their character got stuck in a stick. On a stick. And up there. And the boss one-shot them and the gamer lost in a half an hour of progress because of this frickin' stick.
Oh, hey, this is a stick up.
And you like put the stick up their bum. That's how you rob them. Life hacks!
Dad, I crave the sugar. Parental figure, I require the crystallized glucose. Old human use male and related to me, I require the white sweet powder.
My recent direct ancestor of parental lineage, I wait in longing for the sweet juices within the sacrum officinarum. Oh, I know long, complicated words. Have you noticed when I can't pronounce something, I just say it in a weird way? Yeah.
Can't keep my pee-pee in my pants. I am unable to contain my pee-pee within my pantaloons. Hark! I must proclaim something. I, for unknown reasons, have no physical ability to restrain myself from unleashing the full splendor of my reproductive organs, corresponding to one with Y1 chromosome as opposed to constraining stage genitalia with lower clothing item of pantaloons, otherwise known as pants.
Oh.